Welcome to BaldMan Fishing.
Not a care in the world. Amber eyes, you're giving
I think it's been 285 days or something like that since the last episode. And here we are in a secret spot. I'm actually after some squid. And I thought, Monday night, no one's out, it's a bit breezy, we've had a little bit of rain, not sure how I'm going to go. I've already got 2 in the bait tank, which is a good start. 2 casts, two squid. I'll show you those a little bit later, but hopefully we can get some footage catching some squid and just some of the techniques. I noticed that I tried to show someone the other day how I catch squid, and I said, I'll just check out one of the videos. I'm sure I've got a video there how I do it, but funny enough, I actually don't have a really good squid video. So tonight's video, dark, is showing you how I catch squid. So I've got these squid hopefully for a trip coming during the week with the kids. So we'll see how we go. But anyway, 2 in the tank. Hopefully it's not the only 2 I get. But that's squid fishing, you never know, at the secret spot. Oh, sometimes you get snagged on the bottom, and that's where you need to be. Alrighty, let's see how we go. And we've got one here. This one's a bigger one than the ones I've got in the past. Here I am just drifting. Okay, you know, a lot of people use electric anchors and so on to try and stay in the same spot, but the squid are always moving, so you got to be moving, I reckon. So what you need to do while I'm bringing this is a very light rod, and just keep pressure on the squid. Okay, yeah, it's a big squid. Hit him up. He doesn't get me. Nice size for inside here. These arrows. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Beautiful. Beautiful squid. And I'll show you the rigs and everything that I use. Point this guy away because they will ink. But pretty simple rig that I use. And we'll go through it all. But look at that squid. Beautiful. I don't know if you can see that there. Awesome. Alright, we'll chuck him in the bait tank. Go again. BaldMan fishing. Alrighty, so simple technique. Basically all I'm doing is just casting out to, you know, the secret spot, one of the pylons. Okay, and just letting it drop down. You guys got to let it, it's got to be on the bottom. Okay, the squid are on those weed beds. Okay, so just get it on the bottom. When I know it's on the bottom, then I'm just going to flick the bail arm over. Okay, quite often that first, I'll give it a little spin. Just get it tight, and then normally on that first couple of jigs is when you get the squid. Alright, so all I'm doing, I don't know if you can see that, it's just because it's a really light tapered rod, okay, and I've got a little bit of a sink, and I'll show you that a bit later on, the rig. Basically what you're trying to do is just give it a little bit of a jig, okay, and then you'll know when you're on because it'll load up. You'll have a lot more weight than what you normally would when you just jig it. But you want to keep close to the bottom. Alright, so if it's not near the bottom, I find there's less likely chance. Sometimes I'll chase it up. You know, you'll get one on the surface, or you know, they'll be chasing the one that you've got on the actual jig. Okay? But you'll get snagged every now and then, so you've got to be a bit careful. But if you're not getting snagged, you're not going to get the squid. Alrighty? So that's the basic technique. This is a little Sedona rod. I think it's only a 1-2 kilo. What is it? 3? What have we got here? 2 to 4 kilo light. Okay, so really light rod. Little Excella 5000. Really basic setup, really cheap. Okay, and it does all the damage on my squid. Now I'll show you a bit later on the squid that I'm using, or the squid jigs. Okay, today I'm actually using 2 different sizes, 2 different colours, and sometimes they prefer certain colours or certain sizes, so I'll keep changing it up until I get them. But I've been getting a few already, so I'm going to probably stick with the ones I've got, and I'll show you the one that's actually doing the damage tonight. Alrighty. another one. Secret jig is getting them. It's funny how there's certain jigs that always get the squid. This one here is a tiny one. It's probably a 1.5, 1.8, and it's an orange. And it's only small. Look at that's my finger. That's the squid. I don't know if you can see that. And we've got two different sizes on. That squid actually came up to the surface. It came up to the surface, and I left the jig in the water, and I grabbed him. So sometimes you got to just keep an eye on the water, because when you keep an eye on the water, you'll see sometimes that they'll follow it up, and that big sucker was just following it up, and then it grabbed the big one, let go of that one to start with, and then I left the jig in the water, and it grabbed the tiny one. So it pays to keep an eye on the water when you do bring it up, and just keep an eye, because they'll follow it up quite often. Okay, and that's what happened there with that one. Alright, and you'll notice my rig, two jigs, paternoster rig. One's a little bit smaller, it's an orange one. Other one's a bit bigger. So like I said, I try to run two different. Sometimes I'll take pink ones all night, sometimes I'll take orange ones, sometimes I'll take the brown ones. It's funny, I could never crack the code really with squid. Probably catch more with the pink, but it's only because I usually use pink all the time. So, but anyway, squidding is patience. Okay, you need to have patience with squidding. You can't just think, oh, I'm just going to get them, because they come in patches sometimes. Like you'll get nothing for half an hour, then all of a sudden 1, 2, 3, and it's like they're in schools and you're sort of over that school. So you've got to have a bit of patience and take your time. So I'll pause a bit, jig it a little bit, bring it up a little bit, different things all the time. Just trying different techniques. It's not one technique. Sometimes it's like I'll find I have to actually keep reeling it and I'll get them. Sometimes it's pausing it, dropping it down again just when I'm near the boat. Something that just gets them, I don't know, they get aggressive sometimes and they'll just take it any time. Sometimes it takes a certain way to get them. So I'll always keep changing it. The retrieve or the drop or the cast or whatever it is, until I work out for tonight what's working in terms of catching squid, because each time you come it's different. You know, it's hard to explain. And when I'm on my own, like tonight, I really like to make my paternoster rig really long. So it's when I'm actually jigging the rod. Okay, it's got a bit of whip. It's allowing the squid jig to just waft into the water. Okay, hard when you got a couple of people on the boat because you've got this massive rig with two jigs, and you don't want to hook anyone. But when I'm on my own, I'll make the rig quite long, so the squid jig can do this in the water. Alrighty, alright, let's hopefully we can get another one. Alrighty, so when I like to come down here is an hour before or a tide where it's running up and then running down. Okay, now whenever I can come, I come. If I can only come at a certain time and the tides are terrible, you go. It's not going to dictate me going or not, but I know that over the years, if I have a sort of run in and run out tide, okay, there's a better chance of getting them. Up here we've got a few guys here squidding, because you've got the change in the tide. I don't know, it sort of sets them off. Now I'm talking to you right now because usually it's about high tide right now and there's a lot of slack water, so the boat's not really moving. Okay, and they sort of go a little bit off the bite. I find in that sort of half an hour where there's that sort of slack tide where the water's not really moving, the squid probably aren't as active. You do still get them, but I find that they slow down, and then as soon as the tide changes and the water starts running the other way, they come back on again. So, but if I can, I try to come so I've got like a change of tide, so it's running up, and a high tide I find is a bit better here in this spot that I've got. But if it's a low tide change, whatever it is, I'm not dictated by that when I'm going to go out and catch my squid. But I know that I'm at a better chance over the years of that. For example, today 7:30 is high tide, and it's pretty much bang on that right now. and I haven't got one for the last sort of 10 15 minutes. Okay, so when the water starts running the other way and starts moving again, I tend to find they start biting again. So, but anyway, don't get dictated by it. One thing I'm not really happy about in my spot is that the amount of people on a Monday night casting off the bridge. Hopefully I don't snag anyone's squid jig, but yeah, there's lots of people out here tonight, which is a bit funny. I know it's school holidays, but anyway, see how we go. Alright, hopefully we get another one for you. Now they're not all big ones, that's on the tiny lure again. Actually, I've got every squid so far, and I've got about 7 in there, I think, 6 or 7, on the same jig. So it's funny how they all like the same jig. I don't know whether it's because it's on the bottom. Look how far this is from the sinker to the bottom here. Okay, but look how small. He'll probably ink me, this guy. This squid is, you know, in the palm of my hand compared to the ones I've got a little bit earlier. But they're all good. This is all squid. Hopefully there's going to be kings later in the week. I haven't got time to sleep tonight and stay here and go for kings tomorrow, but they're going to be, if I can't have live squid, I'd rather catch them myself and have fresh squid that I won't freeze, and then use as kingy baits later in the week. Anyway, they will count. We got another one here. Like I said, just take it easy, keep pressure on the squid. Bring him up. Watch out for the worm squidding on that. Again, the same jig. It's getting all the squid. There you go. Nice. Alright. Okay. Mate, I've been fishing this spot probably 20 something years, and it's actually getting annoying tonight. I've got about probably 15 people fishing off the top of the bridge that I'm going to try and dodge lines. I've just unhooked someone's bait jig off my jigs, nearly lost all my squid jigs. And then the next thing I've got a problem is now with technology is that people have got electric motors these days around here, and just sort of sitting in, you know, I like to drift, so I find the squid and you find them in patches, but people seem to just sit in one spot and sort of block you trying to get through. So it's making it pretty difficult for me moving around. I don't have electric motor, but I wouldn't even use my electric motor in this sort of style of fishing, because I'm always looking for the squid. Right, and there's people sort of parked over the other side in some of the channels, and they've got their electric motor and just sitting there, and I'm moving, so I'm trying to dodge lines and dodge boats, so it's getting a little bit frustrating. You know, back in the day, it's even like when you go to some of the reefs, you know, everyone gets a drift through. Now these days people sit, you know, on the bait grounds and some of the reefs blocking so that you can't, you know, drift through there. So it's getting a bit frustrating having to dodge lines at the moment. You know, I've got a few, I'll probably count about more than 10 people up the top there with their lines. And then now I've got a couple of boats that have arrived and they've all got electric motors. Anyway, that's my whinge for tonight. I've got a fair few squid anyway. I don't know if I've seen anyone else catch anything. But I'm going to persist and see how I go. But these guys get in the way, it's going to be very difficult to fish this channel for squid. Like I said, I thought Monday night, no one's here. It was pretty windy today, so I thought it would have put off people coming down, but obviously not. So, but anyway, see how we go. Might have to dodge a few more lines, go on the other side of the bridge. We'll see how we go. Alrighty, it wasn't too bad. I got annoyed with the guys bloody fishing off the bridge. Some nice healthy squid in there. Anyway, that's a trip that was worthwhile, and hopefully that will get us a few kingies later in the week. And I'll show you what I'll do with those squid. So I'll keep them in the water until I get home, and then put them fresh into the fridge, and hopefully have them fresh for a nice kingy session later in the week. Anyway, hopefully that's another episode of BaldMan Fishing. This time actually goes through how to squid. Alright, and hopefully you'll see some of the rigs I've got. This is the one that did the damage today. It's an orangey colour. Maybe you can see that one there. And I'll show you the rig there, including the secret weapon here. Glow stick. Alright, BaldMan Fishing. Make it simple and you'll get the fish.
Autumn breeze, blue skies and golden leaves, and I'll drive all day with not a care in the world. Amber eyes, you're giving me butterflies, so I'll drive
I met that.
all day
I think he's been on there for ages.
Yeah, probably. That's good. That's all done nice too.
That's why yeah, nice big rig.
We'll be rebels, you and me. Sailing towards the sun like a shot from guns.
We're after a kingfish and look at the brim it's got.
That's it.
Basic rig, this is 20-pound line. You like to use it quite heavy because if you're trying to get to the bottom of the water column, or what you're trying to do is get to the bottom and then you're jigging it off the bottom and slowly up towards the boat. I think quite long. That's probably what, 40 centimeters in a loop knot, and then I have another loop going to, which is basically a pattern off the rig, yeah, to the one squid jig, quite long. I like it to waft like that. Jig will see that floating in the water column, and then the second one on top. Two different colours, because sometimes they might hit one colour, the pink or the blue. And the setup I think I got here has got a pink and just the natural colour. So these are the two Yasha meters. You notice on the jigs, for those that do a lot of squidding would know this, then you got the barbs and the weight. There's different areas on different jigs that actually glow. Little glow stick. So I do run a little glow stick just above the rig to attract the squid. I feed through, before I put it onto a swivel with my main line, the plastic sleeve, and then obviously crack the glow stick. And the rig itself is quite long. I'm not very tall, but the rig's quite long. It makes it a little bit harder to bring the squid in, but I like the squid jig doing that sort of action in the water.
Autumn breeze, blue skies and gold.